Away from the ranch, each black team member struggled and was tempted to fall back into their old habits.
This is so hard.
Coming up, the black team says their goodbyes and returns to the ranch to face the scale after being away from Jillian for a week and find out who will be sent home permanently.
Hello and welcome back to the Creation Motivation channel. Today I am continuing Biggest Loser. So yeah, I do break the episodes in half just because they're so long, over an hour, and also disclaimer, we do not endorse these extreme dieting methods that Biggest Loser does. And you know, as good as the show is, it is extreme. I'll say that every episode, every time I talk about it. I do love the series. I do love the motivational parts and the stories, but the way these people compete against each other, it can be cutthroat. It can be so heartless at the same time as being empathetic. And they say they have each other's back and they get really close, but then, you know, at the end of the day with the game, and the game ends up winning and the people get voted off and people get their feelings hurt, and that's just how it is. But anyways, this is continuing. The last episode, the black team goes back home. They get sent back home because they lost the previous challenge to the blue team. Blue team decided they wanted them to go home instead, and it's definitely a good strategy overall because when you go home, when you go back to your old habits, your bad habits, it can genuinely be tough on your progress. So when you're working towards a weight loss goal and you change your habits, and maybe you're in a new environment or you're hanging out with people that encourage good habits like a gym or a weight loss group or a community, and they're encouraging the good habits, it gets easier to lose weight and actually reach your goals. But then, you know, you go and hang out with your old friend group, or you go back home for the holidays or something like that, and you're suddenly around the people who encouraged the bad habits before, or you guys kind of co-enable each other, like you see in other shows like 600 Pound Life, and I always refer to those because I am watching those as well, and I see similarities. And there's times when you enable each other and it just becomes the part of your relationship, and it becomes so part of your relationship that it's hard to change it. Change can be hard, right? So what I'm getting at here is that the black team went back home and they found themselves surrounded with all of their bad habits again, their favorite restaurants, their favorite friends that maybe they liked to drink with, or they liked to go out to eat with a lot, or just all the stresses of life came back to them as well. And all of the contestants go through this, but out of all of them, Dan actually was doing the best. He was the model contestant, showing exactly what you do when you go back home or you go back to bad habits. There is a big difference between Dan and Daniel, okay? I have to reiterate this over and over again because they have almost the same name and I always get them confused. So Daniel's from last season, and I think in the last season, the heaviest, and then he's partnered with Shay now, who's the biggest woman. But then there's Dan, and he's doing really good. He's kind of the opposite of Daniel, and he's making all the right choices. Daniel usually does, but when he went back home, especially in this episode, he definitely struggles quite a bit. In the last part, Jillian called him just to remind him, be careful because travel, you can gain weight. It's really easy to slip up when you travel or when you vacation or you take a break. And going back home to your family and all your old habits, it definitely does feel like a break. And when there's a break coming up or a break involved, I tend to panic a little bit and I get nervous because I'm scared. My track record in the past has been whenever something like that happens, I'll get too relaxed and I'll just give up. And the worst thing is it could be anything. It could be some kind of celebration, or it can be some stress like moving, something bad, something good. Anything can set me off. But anyway, so Dan is doing really good in this. And a lot of the stuff in this episode was very motivating from his side. There was a bit of a sad part when they were having their outdoor barbecue, which kudos on him. Instead of going out to eat, he decided to do a barbecue, which is a good compromise, but you can't escape it. Eventually, you are going to go to some event or some party or some potluck, and there's going to be a bunch of food, and you have to face it eventually. But he is smart. He knows he's in Biggest Loser. He's in this competition, and it's temporary, and he's got to make these choices to stay in this competition, and they do work out in his favor, as you see at the end of the episode.
Like it needs to be right now. My kids want their daddy.
I'm not going to be able to spend a whole lot of time with you. We've got to take care of business. Every minute I'm away from you at the gym means years I'm going to be with you because I'm going to live longer.
Not being able to give my family my full attention breaks my heart.
They're having this barbecue at home, and they're having grilled food and just healthier options. And his daughter asks him if they're going to go to the zoo together, if they're going to spend time together. And it's this little sad moment because he tells her basically he can't spend much time with her. He has to get his workouts done, and his whole schedule just has to be perfect. It has to fit perfectly, because otherwise, you know what's going to happen. He's going to miss workouts. It's going to cause him to lag, and maybe even he's going to end up binging or something like that. I'm just thinking what is going through his head. So yeah, I just felt for the little girl, and I felt for him because this is a big part of it, is time. And we want to make time for our families, but at the same time, we want to reach our goals, whether it's work goals or fitness goals or just being healthy for them and losing weight. And that takes time and that takes work, where you would have to be away from them. So I really felt for his family, but as I said, it does work out for him. His wife also mentions to him a memory. She says, "Oh, do you remember back then when we used to just sit around and do nothing?" And she mentioned how her friends asked them, "Well, what do you guys do for fun? What do you do?"
You know, they ask us, "What do you do? What do you guys do?" Do you realize every single time we answered that question, there was nothing to say?
I always knew my weight was dragging me down. I always knew that it was making me not the man I could be. But I just really didn't grasp how much it affected my family.
We do nothing because I can't do anything.
And it sparked a feeling in me like that is sad. As time goes on, especially when we're adults and get into the routine of life and work and home and work and home, we just stop doing things. We stop going out and experiencing life, right? And it really hit close to home because I realized I have gotten into that slump as well. And my kids will be like, "Well, are we going to do anything?" And I have to just push myself. I have to push myself to keep going out and doing stuff. And I miss those days where you're dating your husband or your future spouse, and you used to go out and maybe go dancing or go on a hike or go shopping together and just spend time together. And then as time goes on, you just find yourself stuck in this rut, this routine where you don't do anything. You stay home all the time. As you get older, you do like to relax too, but some would say those are excuses, especially trainers like Jillian. But yeah, as far as their travel, everyone does pretty well, but it's a hit or miss. They were happy to see their family, but at the same time, it was rough on them. They do eventually go back to the ranch. The Blue team has this whole little thing where they help out with the food bank like they did in the last season. It was nice. There wasn't really anything revolving the show or motivation or anything like that, but it was nice that they helped out people in need. But the Black team does come back, and they have another last chance workout. And Jill is ready. She's on fire. She knows they've been home all this time, and they haven't gotten any good workouts from her. So she takes advantage of this last chance workout and goes kind of crazy on them. She makes them work hard. Dan is all for it. Like I said, he's refreshed. He's feeling motivated. He made all the right choices, and he's after it.
Superman that had that kryptonite chain to his leg, you know, and that was all my fat and out of shape, and feels like somebody chopped the chain off and threw the kryptonite away, and I'm slowly getting my Superman back, you know what I mean?
Step, push off the ball of foot.
Daniel, however, is resistant. He doesn't want to work out that much. Whenever I'm off track or slipping, I will realize the same thing. I will kind of slip a bit as far as workouts, and I'll feel sluggish, and I just won't want to do much anymore. He's stuck, and he's feeling sluggish, and he doesn't want to get back into it. And he talked about his mom and growing up and how she tried to push him to lose weight, and she did everything she could to help him do it and kind of try to force him to.
My mom was always, "Daniel, don't eat that. Daniel, let's go to this weight loss program." And because of the way my mom treated me, out of love, I mistook it for I'm not good enough. So I'll be 454 pounds.
That's just a big problem with kids that are overweight is you can't really force them to do it. They got to have their own mindset, right? As a parent, though, you do need to take charge of what they're eating and focus on that. But it's really difficult because kids, they do need to get what they need, the vitamins they need to grow and support their bodies as they're changing. Because until you're an adult, you're basically just growing and growing, and your body needs as much vitamins, proteins, all of that possible. So I do feel for him because he grew up in that environment. His mom did the best she could, but it definitely went out of control because he got to that really high weight. The ending was the weigh-in, of course, and it didn't make me super angry like the last one, but I was a little sad. I knew the black team wasn't going to make it, but I had this hope of hopes inside that even after traveling back home and everything, somehow they would make it through and beat the blue team. But no, the blue team won. The whole time they were weighing in, of course, Tracy is making these horrible comments, just these snide little comments, and it was obnoxious. I was secretly hoping the blue team would lose just so they could get rid of her because, oh my gosh, I thought they were going to vote her off last episode, and she got away with it. And this one, she snuck away too. They got a win, and good for them. You know, the blue team, they worked hard, but I was just a little disappointed because of that. Rudy and Danny both ended up pulling huge numbers, and that was the reason they won. Tracy lost like 4 pounds, and it made sense because the last two, she lost a lot, and I was really suspicious of that, how she was losing so much. But now she has finally come to a little stall, which is how weigh-ins go. Usually you'll have a random big loss, and then you'll have a couple weeks of no loss or small loss, and then you'll have another big loss, and it's just so unpredictable. But yeah, so Dan ended up pulling a big number, 15 pounds. Like I said, he made all the right choices going back home, and he ended up pulling this huge number. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough to save them because Daniel ended up gaining a pound. I felt it. I knew it was coming, but I expected he only lost 2 pounds or something. But no, he actually gained a pound, and I felt so bad for him. Jill was so upset, and he looked so upset, and you could see the look on his face when they were talking it over, and it broke my heart. Broke my heart, really. And shockingly, they didn't vote out Daniel. I thought for sure they would, but I guess because he was there the previous season and he has, built a lot of friendships, it ends up being Dina, which was upsetting as well because we saw how Dina struggled at home, and she has to care for several children and doesn't seem like she has much help. I don't know the situation, like I said, but I was a little disappointed in that, and I felt bad for her. But they do follow up and come back later and show the eliminated contestants how they're doing now. And it did show her, and she did look good. She's lost weight by herself at home. She's doing good. So I'm rooting for her. I can't wait to see everyone at the finale. That's going to be so fun to watch. The last thing that happens in the episode is she does finally beat the box. So I talked about this in the other episodes. This whole season, they have been pushing Dina to jump over this box in the gym. And that can be so tough when you're really heavy because jumping is really hard at that weight.
Do it. Jump! Jump! Don't stop, Dina.
But not anymore.
Yes.
My biggest obstacle to jumping on that box was fear, but now I've conquered that fear.
I just felt like they were pushing her so much to do this so fast. Modifying is okay, so I thought that was a little off how they were pushing her so much. But here at the end, in the elimination, she's lost weight. She's definitely been training. And so doing the box is now easy for her. So it's a good little NSV non-scale victory to end the episode on. I like that. So until next time, I'm going to review the next part. And I'll be back with that, and we'll see what happens. So happy goal getting. Hope you all are reaching for your goals, doing something small today. a little walk, maybe short walk, or cleaning the house. Cleaning actually burns a ton of calories. Doing laundry, lawnmower, different things I've seen other people do. Just something small. Drink some water. Do what you need to do and reach for those goals. Have a great day.